What's going on, In the Tunnel fans? We're back for another great episode in the tunnel. You got me, Dallas Melvin, here with my co-host Patrick the Truth Truesdale. Say what's up, brother.
What's up? A lot of talk about a little hype on the show tonight.
Oh, it's gonna be real hype. Y'all see, I'm just gonna go and get it out early. We're gonna talk about it later, but I got my Dallas Mavericks final shirt on, so I'm predicting exactly what's gonna happen. We kicking off NBA kickoff this week. NBA kicked off this week. I'm sorry, Rockets fans. KD already came in and did what KD gonna do. Poo-poo. But we're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna talk about that later.
We're gonna talk about that. How many games they play in the NBA?
81.
Okay.
82. I'm sorry. 82. So, he kind of called timeouts when you don't have timeout. But we're going to get in that later. First off, I want to remind you, please go on our social media, In the Tunnel Sports Media, Instagram, In the Tunnel Sports Media, TikTok, In the Tunnel Sports Media, Facebook. Like us, subscribe. We're your local guys. You guys go to our Facebook page. You go to our Instagram page. You're going to see pictures of us out in the community. Come say hi to us. Give us your take. We want to get you on the show.
That's what's up. That's what it's all about.
All right. So we're going to dive right in. We're talking, let's start with a little college. What's our NFL? Let's do NFL. Let's go. We're gonna start the NFL. So Truesdale, what's been your biggest surprise of the year for the NFL? We're not gonna go through all the games. We're gonna highlight a couple of games. But what's been your biggest surprise for the year so far?
What's New England quarterback name?
Drake May.
That's the biggest surprise. He's it is a team. New England Patriots and him. I'm saying he's a top 5 quarterback. But he playing like a top 5 quarterback. That's my biggest surprise.
Yeah, he's playing unbelievable right now. I will say he's definitely playing unbelievable. I would like to say my biggest surprise so far has been, and shout out to my boy Trig and his crew from Naptown, Indianapolis. But those Colts, man, they're surprising folks. I mean, they got a team. Like, they literally have the Colts being the biggest surprise. They have a squad. I mean, from running back, they have a top 5 running back, maybe top 3 in Jonathan Taylor. They have a great offensive line. The defense is solid, and everybody that didn't want Daniel Jones, you just got to know how to coach Daniel Jones. And obviously, they're doing a great job. They believe they only have 1 loss on the season. They're surprising a lot of people, and I expect them to keep it going. So we like to keep it positive here, but we also like to be realistic. So, who is your biggest disappointment?
My biggest disappointment in the NFL football today is the Houston Texans. From the GM to the play caller to the OC to the O-line. And Cole Ridge Bernard Strong, the fourth, I'm not surprised at him. He's just getting scared. He's just getting more and more digging himself in the hole. But that's the most disappointing. I mean, I never liked that GM. The problem with us, I always hire these people from New England. And that gets on my nerves. This guy's the offensive coordinator. Once I think he worked in New England, come from the Rams. It's horrible. Our offense is so basic. We look like one of the inner city schools don't have coaches. It's sad, and CJ got to hurt me running the ball. You know what I'm saying? College schools will run a post and up straight. You got the boy from Iowa State, they don't run no routes underneath. It's just sad and disappointing. And Domingo got to put his foot down. They got to step that offense side up. They need to get rid of their GM. That's just the reality. I'm sorry. Saying like it is. Sorry about that H-Town, Vic, but it is what it is. The biggest disappointment is the Texans. From the GM to the OC to the O-line, which that should have been worked on the last season, and to the quarterback. Simple as that. And Cole Ridge, Bernard Stroud, fourth, he just ain't got it, man. Everybody knows say he pocket, but you don't know when to get rid of it. And it's just the reality, too. I thought he could fight that curse. But Ohio State quarterbacks just ain't worth the nickel on credit. That's one reason why Eric Glenn ain't won the game. I mean, it is what it is. They quarterbacks, you never drive a quarterback from Ohio State. If you're good out of high school, if you go to Ohio State and ball, it's not you have bad luck when you go to the league. I wouldn't want to go there and play quarterback. It is what it is.
So I agree with you. Texans right now, their quarterback, trash. Office coordinator, trash. Offensive line, trash. And I'm just telling you, the way he coaching right now, the whole team, D'Amico, he not trash, but he garbage. He's garbage because it's it. I mean,
no, but how you gonna call that man garbage?
Why ain't not garbage?
Well, what the cat?
You 2-4.
Okay, no, come on, man. When y'all say trash, that means something.
I didn't say trash. I said he just garbage. He's a little better than trash. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah,
not for me. I'm just telling you. Maybe for you. I'm just telling you what my definition is.
Because that's like saying a player played good for 9 years. And a player, like right now, people call him Russell Williams trash and garbage. He's not trash and garbage. The boy was good in the past. Won a Super Bowl. He's old. He's a backup. Can't call the man trash anymore. And the thing is with D'Amico, he's done a great job as a DC. He's done a great job as a head coach. They got to make changes. Every year, a lot of head coaches don't win. They don't go to playoffs. You can't call them garbage and trash behind that. That's just the case. Everything in Dallas is trash and garbage. Jerry Jones trash and garbage because he ain't won the championship since the 90s. So that's like me calling them trash and garbage. But I'm not saying the man is trash and garbage. That's all I'm saying.
So let me go ahead and delineate. Let let you understand my definition. I don't know what your definition is.
Your definition is trash and garbage. It's like you underneath. You just saw it.
Okay, we're gonna let you define everything. Then go ahead. So my biggest disappointment, my
man is not garbage.
Okay, if you say so, you got the right to your opinion. I got the right to mine.
How many times he been to the
You
playoffs?
got the right to your opinion. I got the right to mine.
Okay, but how many times he been to the playoffs?
That don't mean.
I'm gonna ask you a question. How long you been in Houston? How many times he been?
Twice. He been in Houston 4 years. This is 4th year. He's been in the playoffs twice.
That's good.
Okay, so if you don't go to playoffs, so guess what? 2 divided by 3 is 66%. If you in school, 66% is failing. So you good with failing? Come on now.
Hold up.
You a failure. That's your definition of failing. You said how many years? Make up your mind. We're going through the whole year.
Okay, if you've been there 4 years, you've been in the playoffs 2 years. That's damn good.
That's 50%. So 50% is a failure.
But
you accepting failure.
That's not failure. That's not no failure. 2 years. If you
got a 50% grade in school, please call in and let me know if that's a failure.
Well, as a coach, if you know about organized football, running a team, coaching the team, and having done all that, if you be there for 4 years, you don't make the playoffs your first 2 years. You make it your last 2 years. You make it second, your third, and fourth year. That's good because you pull the team up. That is not failure at all.
Okay, so that means that my biggest disappointment right now being the Jets. He got this year to lose. He got next year to lose. We got next year to lose. You said you know anything about coaching. You didn't say Texan. You said know anything about coaching.
I can name Belichick. Belichick wasn't winning when he first
right.
got Belichick even got fired before. You gonna call that man trash?
He was trash in Cleveland.
Okay.
That's why he got fired. Okay. You don't get fired if you're not trash. You prove my point. No. Belichick was trash when he was in Cleveland, which is why he got fired. And then he went over to New England. And then guess what? That's what you do. You go improve yourself. You go improve yourself.
If you get fired, you trash. What you said? If you get fired, you trash.
If you get fired because
here's the thing.
If you get fired because you're losing, you're trash.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
McDaniels is a good coach.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna call every coach get fired because coaches get fired.
I said if you're losing.
Now, this is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna call every coach trash. They get fired from losing. They go elsewhere and win because sometimes there'll be a reason why they get fired. Sometimes they don't have control over things. Sometimes they don't have control who the OC is and all that. So it is what it is with that. So it's always an investigation while you fire a coach. It's always be dumb owners do dumb things.
So you don't think that D'Amico Ryans had a say so who his OC was going to be when he brought Slovak in from the 49ers with him?
We don't know that. But they got to change some things. They got to hurry to do it.
Okay, so you don't think Aaron Glenn had a say so who his coordinators are going to be this year when he got to the Jets?
It's not Aaron Glenn's coordinator. It's Aaron Glenn's coordinator. They decided to pick that boy, and that's good. Everybody thought Fields was going to do great.
So you don't think Aaron Glenn had a say so when he went to Aaron Rodgers and said, "Hey, we don't want you anymore." And by the way, they hadn't signed Fields yet. Yeah, they got rid of Aaron Rodgers, who's balling in Pittsburgh right now. Yeah. But they said, "We don't want you. We want to go with a younger quarterback for our program." That wasn't Aaron Glenn. You're telling me?
Well, sometimes you have to get rid of because Rodgers probably wouldn't be doing this in New York when he's doing now. Because we don't know what happened. Because Rodgers could be an asshole, first of all, and it was best for him to go another direction. You know, at the end of his career, and he picked the right team to go to was Pittsburgh. So him getting rid of him, that ain't the reason why. Because they still wouldn't be winning if Rodgers was there. Now they might win one game, they still won't be winning Rodgers there. Rodgers in a better fit. Rodgers already came to the team put together. So all this overhang got to do is manage the game. He's doing a good job with that. You can't put Aaron Rodgers on every team. He's not going to have the success he has now. He got to be on a good team. And the reality is Pittsburgh's a way better team than the Jets right now.
I agree.
Got a lot of rebuilding.
I agree. So to your point, Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields, who was in Pittsburgh last year, he actually played a lot better in Pittsburgh last year because they had a better team.
He played good to me there.
He had a better team. He played better than what he's playing right now in Pittsburgh. You look at the stats. You look at he won games in Pittsburgh.
Fields never impressed me because first of all,
I didn't say impress. I said better.
First of all, I don't care where you put him. He can't read defenses, so he's not good. And once again, he's Ohio State quarterback. Justin Fields is not good at all. I'm just gonna tell you like it is. What has he done? And like Janet said, what has he done lately? What has he done his whole career? Because he didn't do nothing in Pittsburgh but stunk up the stadium.
Well, we're not gonna get on what he's done lately because the Jets ain't done nothing lately. Miami Dolphins ain't done nothing lately. The Houston Texans ain't done nothing lately. Well, you just said it's all about what have you done for me lately.
I'm talking about Justin Fields.
Okay.
I ain't talking about getting all over the world. Let's stay in our lane.
We talking about the NFL. We talking about the NFL.
We talking about NFL.
We talking about NFL.
There's a lot of things you can say that. There's a lot of things you can say that about what the Cowboys done lately. They ain't won the Super Bowl, so we can go back to that too.
I said,
but I'm not trying to do that.
Lately is not the Super Bowl. We're talking about this weekend. We're talking about this weekend, man. We're talking about games this weekend. That's what the topic is of the day. Games this weekend. And I said, Miami Dolphins ain't won lately. Las Vegas Raiders. So we ain't gonna talk about the games this weekend. What we doing?
Speaking of games this weekend, the old coach from the Jets got their defense balling in St. Frank. That was a hell of a game on Sunday night. And, you know, I look at Atlanta, that's one of the most underrated young offenses. And what they did, the schemes they ran. And they got to bring that to Houston. In Archie on Sunday. We too good to score a point. It's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard.
So to your point, Robert Saleh, I believe, deserves another chance as a head coach in the NFL with another team where he can go get better support because he obviously didn't get the support that he needed in New York Jets. And it was obvious, like they wanted Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers came in and got hurt. They won. They were calling the shots that he didn't agree with. So if he gets another shot, but here's the thing though. He's proving he needs another opportunity because of the way he got that 49ers defense playing.
Well, every coach deserves a second chance. And like I say, once again, we're talking about Rodgers. Rodgers pushed him, man. He was trying to give him some love. And that was just idiot. So that's one reason why the organization had to get rid of his behind Rodgers. But for us, you know, sometimes you start off just like Tampa Bay coach. So he deserves a second chance. But right now he's DC. I'm just talking about right now what he's doing for my team. You know, I don't care about a head coach. He got them balling, and I know he's finna bring that to the end, which he ain't gonna have much to game plan for, but I know he's finna bring it on Sunday. It's gonna be crazy. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, 49 should definitely win that game on Sunday, for sure.
Scheme, oh my God. Coleridge Bernard better come on with it.
Come on with what?
I was gonna say this, Coleridge Bernard better hurry and get rid of that ball, because they're gonna probably have about 3 sacks. St. Frank gonna come in, that defense gonna come in, and it's dominating RG. Coach Hall, he gonna have that thing going. So Coleridge Bernard, he better step his game, but better hurry and get rid of the ball, which I thought. I thought it saw Coleridge Bernard the fourth do that. But
that means
it's gonna be ugly Sunday.
That means he's
St. Frank coming in RG.
That means he's gonna do something he hadn't done all year, which that's probably not gonna happen. So we talked about the 49ers. What else you want to highlight from the
Well, I enjoyed that Detroit Lions has a hell of a 1-2 punch. Detroit Lions are playing like a Super Bowl team. For their secondary to be banged up, they still balling out. I mean, Cameron, them boys, they are playing some of the best ball right now.
So let's just go ahead and throw it out there then. Who you think got the best team in the NFC right now?
I mean, Lions.
Over your Eagles? Because they balled out last week. They finally started throwing the ball.
But Eagles gonna be there regardless. They got to go through them anyway, regardless. But the Lions are really impressed with that one team.
All right, so who you?
Because I believe in running the ball. You know, and I just like Cameron Gamble, which I'm still gonna roll with the Eagles, but at the same time.
So you believe running? So if you believe running the ball has, because this is what they say about running backs. There is no slow decline; they just fall off the cliff. Has Saquon Barkley fallen off the cliff?
No, Barkley's playing some ball, but if I have a team, I want a two-legged monster. And I love to have a three-legged monster. I think about that team with Eli and them. When they beat New England, they was undefeated, they had a three-legged monster. So everybody think you got to pass. You got to run the ball. Run and get you there. Run and get your team, especially when you have more than one back to run. Because you don't want to weigh down on one back.
But Barkley ain't got 100 yards this year. And he got Corey Dillon backing him up, so he got a good backup.
But what I'm talking about as a team, he's still going to get the job done because he can catch. And like I said, him having the backup is doing a good job. Because all I'm saying with the Lions doing what they got the best 1-2 punch, had the best 1-2 punch last year. They got hurt. But when you have that package deal, you good. Barkley might have got 100 yards. Eventually he will. But if he get 80-some yards and making some catches, and with their receiving core, because they got the best receiving core in the NFL, them in Cincinnati, I mean, they good regardless. They're going to run, and you got a quarterback to run.
So, I mean, Cincinnati probably got the – I mean, it's a toss-up right now.
Cincinnati just ain't got no quarterback.
It's a toss-up right now because, I mean, if you look at the stats, Pickens and CD is right up there with Devontae and AJ and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they're doing good. You can talk about the stats now, but the reality for the last 2-3 years, those teams been successful. It's not me trying to compare who got the most yards. It's not me talking about comparing Pickens. And then not only that, they got third and fourth receivers on that team, on both teams, especially Philly. So they ain't even just the starting receivers. You got your third and fourth and fifth receivers coming off the bench. And in the rotation, they got a hell of a core, man. And it make it so beautiful, they got a hell of a tight end. Gotta have that.
I mean,
you
talk about my Cowboys. We got a tight end that scored a touchdown the last 5 games in a row. Yeah,
I was like Ferguson.
They got a tight end. You talking about backup receivers? You know, Tolbert, Cavante.
But they not know. Come on, man. They not.
Who's Philly backup receivers? I put them against Philly backup receivers.
Okay.
Who Philly got?
All they backup receivers got a Super Bowl ring. So when they get a Super Bowl ring,
that's because they on the team.
Okay, they gonna get another one too.
Oh my goodness! So ain't no other. So guess what? That means ain't no other. Cincinnati ain't got no good receivers either because they ain't got no Super Bowl rings.
But like I say,
oh come on, man! You can't throw that out there just because you don't like the Cowboys.
They got nothing wrong like the Cowboys. It's the truth.
Who is Philly's 34th seed? You said they had 34 seeds. When I named my 34th seed, you say they ain't no good.
No, they ain't got that name. I don't know their name. They got name because it's obvious. It's obvious what they do, brother. It's obvious what they do. That boy, number one, stayed hurt, first of all. Okay? He can run. And he has dropped balls in the past.
By the way, just so you know, number one, Tolbert ain't missed a game for injury in the last 2 years. He does drop balls, but he don't get hurt.
Okay, yeah, he played hurt a couple times.
Okay, everybody play hurt. Everybody play hurt. That's what you want your players to do is play hurt. You don't want to be like, I can't go.
At the end of the day, you talk about the team that's successful at White House. Philly, Cincinnati, the Vikings. At the end of the day, they've been winning, making runs in the playoffs. Philly winning the championship. Only thing I'm saying is this. If you got a good running game, it helps and it opens up and it takes pressure off the quarterback. Some of these guys come in thinking they're going to pass on every down, and that's the biggest mistake. Everything. One thing about, what's going to always be in the NFL, in the level you play, you got to have a running game because you use the clock, wear the team out. Especially you got 1-2, you got 1-2-3 punch. Running game is going to always be in it. Most teams that won it, Super Bowls, have successful running games. Just like we can go back to the 90s with the Cowboys. They had a successful running game.
Philly had a successful running game last year. They won a Super Bowl. Do you know who won a Super Bowl the year before that?
Tell me. You mentioned I'm done talking about what you tell me. You got the conversation.
Kansas City?
Yeah.
They had no running game. They They had Pacheco running the ball, and he averaged less than 40 yards a game. Kareem Hunt wasn't even on that team. So, yeah, you can win the Super Bowl with a running game, but Pat Mahomes showed with a good quarterback and a good offensive coordinator like Andy Reid, who's legendary, and you had Travis Kelce as probably your best, and Xavier Worthy wasn't even on that team. That was when Tyreek left. So, I get it. It's a lot of different ways you can win in the NFL now. That used to be like you got to have a bat, you got to have a bell call, then you got to go, I got running back by committee. Now it is you just got to play complementary football from a defensive standpoint because Chris Jones took over that Super Bowl, and that's one of the reasons why they won. You got to play complementary football and not leave either side on the team too long. But I agree with you. It always helps. It's a lot easier to get and win games if you got a running game.
You got to have a running game because if you break down the Kansas City 49 game, first of all, both times they played them, they should have kept running the ball. And we all know Frisco was kicking their butt, and they had Pat Mahomes all over the place. They had them. They quit running the ball. And you talk about St. Fran defense. They were playing their butt off, but they had bad luck. Plug got hurt on the sideline, tore his Achilles up. That's the only reason why they won that game, because our dumb head coach quit running the ball. We had that bad luck on defense, and we were shutting all that down, shutting Kelce down, because Kelce and the head coach about to fight as usual on the sideline. We shut him down. That's the only reason why they won. Should have gave him the Super Bowl and quit running the ball. And if them players wouldn't have got hurt, even if he would run the ball, I still had confidence they did because they had their number. That's how St. Fran lost, and that's how they lost to them both times. Not running the ball, and you keep that man on the field like that, and your defense hurt. Come on, man. You think he's one of the best quarterbacks. But it is what it is. Like I said, I just believe in running game, and you got to have that. And that's why Kansas City got their ass kicked last year in the Super Bowl, too, by the way, by them Eagles.
Okay, so anyway. with that being said, how do you win in college then? How you win in college right now? What's the formula? What's the formula right now?
Well, here's the thing. When you play in the SEC, you got most coaches coming in with that spread offense. They don't win. Only way they win, like Gus. Gus ran that spread, but Gus ran the ball. So if you got to run the ball still. If you look at a lot of Pac-12 teams, they ain't hardly running the pass. Plus, don't have no defense. The defense rush out the field. Some of them have defense, but they be a bunch of 3 and out. They pass and they get tired. And the most dominating team in college football, they all have running games when they win championships. And that's in the SEC. And if they're not in the SEC, they're in the ACC, or could be in the Big Ten, or could be in the Pac-12. In the past, in the Pac-12, because all those teams built their team like an SEC team, and they had a running game. The best team was going to make history, which they got beat by Texas. USC, they had the 1-2 punch. You look at Ohio State, that's running back you. You look at Alabama, Heisman, what 2 Heisman Trophy winners or whatever. They run by LSU. They ran the ball still. Now they had the receivers and everything got touches. Yeah, they had, Chase and all them, but most teams in college football win a championship. They run the ball. Texas ran the ball, and they had a running quarterback. When you got a mobile quarterback, that's what happens. That even helped. That's the extra threat out the backfield.
So I think to win games, to your point, to win games in college, you can win games with a spread. To win championships, you got to be able to run the ball and play some defense. Play some. Because look at Ole Miss. Ole Miss was undefeated, and they pretty much run a spread with Lane Kiffin.
Ole Miss not going nowhere because they can't play no defense. Let's get that right. Cam Newton ran a spread, but they ran a lot, and he ran it. He made an extra weapon running. History repeats itself. It's not even debate. It's all about what's on paper. Most teams win a championship. They got a running game. There's no team. And if they run the spread and win the championship, they run the ball. They run it just as much as they spread it out. Throwing the ball.
So, talk to me about your boys. I know you close to them boys.
About Cowboys.
I thought we was talking about college.
We
changed this to college. What it take to win in college? That's the transition to
college.
That's what I told you.
Little text me.
So talk to me about Miami. Your boys down in Miami.
Miami got no quarterback. Miami played a perfect game. Quarterback lost the game. You can't win with 5 interceptions. I'll tell you something about these coaches out there. they evaluate these. They got to do a better job evaluate transfers in the portal, especially quarterback. I don't know. Miami had that money waiting on that kid like he was the man. That boy wasn't good at Jordan. That boy threw 5 picks, and they had a drive to win the game. Your quarterback is the key on both levels. Regardless of the kid run the option if they winning, if you got to have a good option quarterback, you got to have a QB. Miami got everything there with a QB, and that's what hurt Miami on Friday night against Louisville. Louisville got a good team. I kind of smelled up saying they coach. Speaking of quarterback, he's a hell of a quarterback coach. He's probably the best quarterback coach in college football. That kid improved. We got there now. But the reality, 5 interceptions, it's hard to win the game when your quarterback got 5 interceptions. So that's how they lost.
I mean, last year they had a quarterback. They had Ken Ward and lost.
Can't play for them.
But this year they don't have a quarterback and they lost. So I'm just saying what the common denominator is. You got the same coach doing the same, they're running the same type of program, and they're not losing multiple games. I mean, it ain't like they're in the cellar. That's their first loss of the season.
The man doing a good job.
First loss of the season. First loss of the season. So we're going to see how they rebound. We're going to see how they rebound.
Don't start saying the man trash, Bill.
I didn't say it was trash. I didn't say it was trash.
The man doing a good job at man. He just ain't got a quarterback this
Once
year.
again, all I'm gonna say is when you like you said they had that money waiting on them. When you buy the groceries, you gotta be held responsible for what the meal tastes like.
But here's the thing: your program still can be winning, and you still can do a bad job evaluating your quarterbacks. You look at the kid at Syracuse, you be like, how you get to LSU? You know, that's a bad job they did. And he went to Syracuse, that's a bad job they did. They had to put the true freshman this past weekend from Dallas Christian from Dallas. So, you know, these schools has got to do a better job evaluating quarterbacks out of high school, junior college, and transfers. If you don't do that, you're going to end up on the short stick.
Okay, so talking about evaluating quarterbacks. Does an A&M quarterback have what it takes to lead them to the championship?
He's a Heisman candidate in the first round. That's a quarterback. I've been eyeing him since high school. Him and Archie came out the same class. They were the top 2 quarterbacks. I always thought he was really just a little better than Archie. Come out of high school. Reed is the man. Yeah. Reed is the man. It's the reason why A&M looking the way they looking. They got a quarterback. They got track receivers. Coach, my boy Holman Wiggins. One thing about him, if you ain't running 10-5 and under, he not recruiting you, man. And A&M got a track team, receivers, got an excellent quarterback. I'll be glad when the Mouse kid come back because that's the man. You know, the defense good. They hot right now. And, you know, they coming to the Death Valley this weekend.
Yep. A&M go to LSU at night.
That A&M all day. Read all day.
And LSU coming off a loss, right?
Reed is the man.
We're gonna find out. That's not an easy place. That's one of the toughest places to play in the country, no matter what that team is. They didn't beat them at LSU at night.
But they didn't beat them well?
They didn't beat LSU at night. I'm talking about LSU in Baton Rouge at night. They say that's one of the toughest places to play.
At the end of the day, Vanderbilt beat LSU. Day, night, midnight, after hours, they beat them. And we had a discussion last week. I want to get back and talk about that. At the end of the day, parents out there listening, I know it's not about the logo no more. It's about the bag. And at the end of the day, if you got a bag, you can get a kid the number 1 player at that position. Simple as that. And what's happening now in college football, you're seeing these teams are competing, was in the middle at the bottom. Vanderbilt was way at the bottom every year. And look at this. You know, people gonna have to accept it's a new Vanderbilt. They beat Alabama last year. What's the shock? Somebody said something on Facebook, Kelly needs to be fired. Because they're really saying because they lost the bad. And I know it sounds bad. But guess what? Every year they're gonna beat the top 5 team in the SEC. And they still gonna get another big win probably before the year is over with. So I got to accept that. And now they're not looking at academics there. They're not looking at certain GPAs. They got it open. They building around there. And you know, Vanderbilt is the richest school in the SEC before A&M and Texas got it there. And they still got money. So, you know, the same way with IU, number 1 business school. That dude's a player. And it comes $93 million. And they heard they gave him extension. A week later, they gave him $93 million. Shoot, they like, hey, man, you ain't gonna take our coach. I know everybody's ready to throw that dude the checkbook. So IU is the new program now. So it's just hilarious. It's funny with the new things going on in college football and how these schools got money and they're going out hiring this coach and giving these kids a bag. It's time for Kentucky coach to get out of there, man, because he's not keeping up with the time. And whoever they get, and I think they need to hire the coach from Tulane. Kentucky's going to be right there top of the SEC too because they got money. That's Bourbon and Horse State there, baby. It is what it is. You see, and you got some teams already with the big logo struggling. Because Kentucky really should have won the game Saturday. Over the horns with the major logo with money.
Then that means that Miami should have won over Louisville.
What we talking about? Teams. No, Louisville, I always keep a good team. Louisville won the national championship in the 90s. What are you saying, man? Louisville,
you talk about 30 years ago?
No.
You gonna pull out 30 years, really?
No,
you said 90s. That's 30 years ago, Truesdale.
We can't talk together.
I know, but you pulled out 30 years ago. And if I pull out last year, you talk about, man, I thought we talking about right now. You talk about Louisville in the 90s.
We on a mistake. Like I always tell when I talk to my partner, y'all out there, this thing, like, y'all all over the place. Because first of all, Louisville has a traditional football program. When Schottenberg got there and won that championship there, and we went undefeated in 80, 90, 91. At the end of the day, Louisville always kept a good team. So at the end of the day, you can't put no Indiana and Vanderbilt with no Louisville for the last 30 years. These are programs been at the bottom. Louisville ain't never been at the bottom. I always been competitive. I always gave Miami a fight. When they was in the Big East, ACC, they always give Miami a fight. So that's not embarrassing at all. If Louisville play Texas tomorrow, they got a chance to beat them. If a person got on Louisville, so you want to get on the subject of Louisville? I'm just trying to stay on the subject of the new logos and everything.
You brought up Texas. You brought up
that Cardinal always been nice. That Cardinal always won. The people with that V on their helmet, they ain't always won. The people with that I on their helmet, they ain't always won. The people with that UK, Kentucky, they ain't always been successful. If you got money, you can do it. By the way, Louisville got money too, by the way. So it ain't what it is.
No, I never.
No, I'm just saying, you said, what about Louisville? We talk about programs at the bottom. Louisville is not at the bottom.
No, you talked about programs. You said programs.
I said what has Vanderbilt done?
You said programs with a logo getting beat.
I said programs.
You said programs. You said Kentucky should have beat your program with a logo, and I said, well guess what? Miami got a logo too, and they got beat.
No, I said no. See, you ain't listening. I said team ain't about the logo no more. That you always been a big logo, always been successful. That horn is the same way. That Cardinals the same way. UK logo on the helmet ain't been good. The V on the helmet ain't been good. The IU ain't been good. We talk about successful programs always up there. And put out a lot of pros. Now, a lot of programs put pros out regardless because Vanderbilt was known to put out some defensive players. Back in the 90s, the boys had the defense. When they coached from Notre Dame too long, they never could win. But at the same time, it's not about the logo no more.
So since it's not about the logo, speaking of that, will Notre Dame make the playoffs?
Oh, yeah. They keep winning out. She's won a big game this weekend. They got Love might win the Heisman. They had 200-something yards against SC.
But they don't have anybody else left on their schedule that's ranked.
Well,
and they lost the two losses against ranked teams.
Well, no. If it's something you don't realize is Notre Dame is America's team. As long as they're making money out of Notre Dame, that's all that matters. As long as they're making money. So that's all that matters when you play Notre Dame, or when you got Notre Dame coming to the playoffs. Notre Dame logo, you know, that's why they've been going to the championship. Everybody's crying about them going to the championship. They got #1 clothing. They got people all over the world. When you got Catholics that only live in America, got season tickets, got so much money, they got condos in South Bend.
So I understand.
Come back for home.
So my question to you though is my question is
always be there. They're gonna always get the favor.
My question is, do they deserve to be there?
If they deserve, if they don't, if they do, they gonna be there because it's Notre Dame. So I can say they don't deserve to go, but I can't cry about it because you know why? Notre Dame is American college. They're gonna get the way to the first school to get a TV contract. They're American college. Like y'all call Dallas America's team, that's American college. So Notre Dame gonna always have their way and gonna be slick with it.
All right, what you think about Texas Tech?
Texas good.
Went
I mean,
to Arizona State, got beat this week. Are they contender or pretender?
They're very contender. I mean, I picked Arizona State to win the Big 12. And Tech surprised a lot of people this year. And the way their program going, they going. They finna be on top of them every year in the SEC, the way they getting their stuff established and the bags they throwing. But at the end of the day, they've been playing the best ball this year in the Big 12. But they also got beat by my favorite, who I picked to win, who got a good team. But they got one loss in the conference, Arizona State. So it wasn't a surprise, but Texas Tech is scary. If they win out, they'll be in the playoffs. They're going to be one of the scariest teams to watch. Now in the playoffs, and not only that, they're the scariest team to watch in the future. Because what they doing up there, hey, McGuire know what time it is. That's all I can say. They get rid of that thing wrong in Lubbock, Texas.
So that's the Big 12. Who are you taking, Ohio State or Indiana for the Big 10?
I take Indiana.
You think Indiana going to be Ohio State?
Yeah, I take them for the next 3-4 years.
Woo!
Them ain't going to be competitive.
Not competitive. They're going to beat Ohio State this year.
I'm not just saying Indiana. I didn't say that.
All right. Y'all heard it here.
It's a new Indiana.
Y'all heard it here.
It's a new
They ain't ready. They playing well, but Matt Patricia got that defense over at Ohio State, like you talked about. You bring in good assistant coaches, coordinators. They can make the program better than it was last year, and they won a national championship last year.
Indiana got, and they getting it from the mud, and they doing good. So okay, so what? They got a good DC. They looking at them. We got a good staff too, and I love giving guys credit like that, getting out the mud and they giving bags out there and doing what they got to do. And then, like you say, getting the top recruits on their way, getting the top recruits. But at the same time, it's all about getting the top transfers. And they're doing a hell of a job at that. Here's a man took over a program from the FCS program, and they just moved D1. And then when he was at James Madison, when he was FCS, that man had a line like he was D1. They were huge. That man a freaking coach.
I get it. We got.
What's his name?
I get. We have programs.
He getting it out the mud. I respect those coaches.
We got programs that traditionally have not played this well, especially this far into the season. But I ain't gonna get crazy with it. Indiana ain't beating Ohio State. Vanderbilt ain't winning no SEC championship. Texas Tech got a shot because they've always had a decent program and been competitive in the Big 12. You go back to the days when they were running the air raid. You got, they had Hall of Fame coaches, players. You had Pat Mahomes in there, so they've always had talent at Tech. Now they're spending more money, even to the tune of they got a softball girl. They paying $1 million a year to play softball, and she got the softball team to the softball world championship last year. So to your point, they're spending money, so they're gonna be in the hunt. But these smaller teams, they're playing better. But I'm not ready to say they're gonna win championship.
Small team. First of all, they big like the schools at the top of the conference. It's all about the money. So let's get away from the money. Here's the thing: what you don't understand, history of college football. If you got a coach, let's take away the porter and let's take away the bags and all that, right? So if I take over a team and they known for being the laughing stock at the bottom of the team, I got some cousins out of Cali. Two brothers played at Oregon, and one of them played at Oregon State. And it was Oregon State and Oregon was the laughing stock of the Pac-12. It was always at the bottom. Matter of fact, Grambling used to play Oregon State. He used to beat them in the early 80s when Eddie Robinson was there. And it was FCS, basically being the D1 team. It was a laughing stock. And what happened was, and regardless of how you win, regardless, they had Nike behind them. They had a good coach with Keith Smith coach. And next thing you know, Oregon and Oregon State, both programs came up. And Oregon started winning the Pac-12. Oregon started being in the championship. Now with the bags, even making it more easy. Now look at Oregon State. When they had the Roger Bush, Jarquez and James, how they spoiled USC season that year. USC had one loss, could never get back to the championship. But they had a championship team that year. Beat them on Thursday night. Never forget that. The boys out of Richmond, Texas, Marcus out there. Black Jesus, first cousins. But if you, no one, you're not little big programs because you're in the big P4. It's just about you winning with the bigger programs. And I saw that happen. I've seen that happen. Even with Texas Tech, when Leach came there, brought something different. It was always competitive. I remember they kicked Texas' ass when Crabtree caught that ball and put it in the end zone, you know. So now with the money, but with the people, I didn't see people build programs without the money and now and with the money. And what's going on now was illegal back in the day. Now it's illegal. So when you can buy a team, eventually you're gonna win. No matter what kind of logo you have on your helmet, you're gonna win. And that's how the SMU won back in the day.
Well, SMU.
And they was at the bottom, and everybody told on them, and everybody got mad because you had this little bitty private school out of Dallas was kicking all the top teams' ass in the Southwest Conference at their heyday.
Yeah, I mean, SMU did a great job of recruiting.
Nah, but they was the laughing stock. It was the most losers program. And just the same thing you said about Vanderbilt and Ohio State, just like Oregon did. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing with SMU. Now, that's the league. They never should have got the depth in it. And if you, the attitude you got now, you'd have been laughing in the early 80s. And they went down there and signed the top 2 running backs in the country, Craig James and Eric Dickinson. And when they got all the top recruits, had that pipeline out of Cashmere High School. And they never looked back. And all of a sudden they get put on probation.
You proving my point, Truesdale. I didn't say these programs.
No, I'm not proving your point.
Can I finish? I'll let you sit there and talk.
You saying that Indiana can't win, and you even talked about this on the air. We was talking about this in CDOTS on Saturday. And I'm telling you, talking about the kind of players they got, they still got players going. Indiana got about 3 guys, first round draft picks. First round. So that's you already said it. And from me on out, I'm always doing it in your face. As simple as that.
Can I get a word in now? Without you jumping in?
Because don't try to change it. You did not win if you had the bottom. That's what you said.
First off, that's a lie. That's not what I said. What I said was you can't win a championship. SMU didn't win a championship when they had to spend all that money with Craig James and Eric Dickinson. They won games. I just said Indiana won games. I said Tech is winning games, but you're not gonna win a championship. So if you're gonna quote me right.
Okay.
So guess what? We can both talk about it. But I'm not going to sit here on the air. I'm not going to sit here on the air.
SMU got robbed. The reason why they didn't win it.
Guess what? I ain't talking about who got robbed.
Notre Dame did.
I ain't talking about
SMU got robbed.
I ain't talking about
SMU did not lose the game that year.
Guess what? They did not win the championship.
Okay, they did.
Guess what?
So it's like
guess what? My point was these smaller teams, exactly what I said. Go back.
They in a Power 4 conference.
Go back.
Smaller teams.
Go back.
Smaller teams are North Texas. Smaller teams are Lafayette, Memphis. If you're in the Big Four, you're not a small team.
These smaller programs
at the bottom of the conference.
These smaller programs. These programs that haven't traditionally gone to championships and playoffs.
They're not small programs. Because someone may compete in football, they compete in basketball, like Kentucky and Indiana. So they're not small, they're big programs. I don't give a damn if you in last place. You might not win a game every year. If you're in the SEC,
you're a big program.
Still a big school. You're a big program.
Okay.
You gotta win though.
Like I said, these programs.
You got low Division 1, you got mid Division 1, and you got
these programs like Indiana and Vanderbilt. I didn't say they wasn't winning games. I said they ain't won a championship. And you brought up SMU, you proved my point because SMU won a bunch of games, but they ain't win a championship. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but I brought up SMU. You want to argue about that? We can talk about why SMU didn't win a championship.
I ain't got to talk about it.
No, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it.
Because you want to talk about why San Francisco didn't win a championship. You got an excuse for everybody.
I let everybody.
You got an excuse for everybody.
The whole conversation was earlier. He was talking about Notre Dame. Do they deserve it? I said Notre Dame is the American team. It's political. So before they started having this playoffs, and they was doing the top 10, they computer stuff and all that, SMU got robbed. They beat Pittsburgh, one of the top teams in the country, 7-3, because they tied that game with Arkansas. They heard them. They should have been national champions, and they got robbed. At the end of the day, they went undefeated and tied the game. So, and NU was in the Southwest Conference, was getting the same respect as the SEC back then. That's the only reason why they didn't win.
Okay. In your opinion, they got robbed. In the opinion of the people giving out the championship, they didn't get it. So guess what? That's always going to be the situation.
Well, they saying I'm telling you about Notre Dame.
That's always going to be the situation. Yeah. That's the situation.
It's funny you said you said they didn't win. I said, oh yeah, they didn't win, but I can tell you why they didn't win.
So
they should have won. And a lot of people to this day say that was the best team. They just robbed them.
And
It was the best team.
And some people say USC had the best team, and they didn't win.
USC won 2 in a row, though.
But they didn't.
They won championship.
Okay.
But that's USC. USC is already up there. We talking about programs at the bottom. And fix up, you can't put USC in there. Okay. USC got a traditional program. Okay. We talking about the programs
that don't have a traditional.
Like your Oregon is right now. Oregon, one of the top programs in the country. Just like Indiana is, what they on their way to with their same status. Paying that man $93 million. That man ain't going nowhere. And finna get that program really going down.
So, do you know the details of his contract? He might be going somewhere.
No. $93 million, he ain't going nowhere.
You know why he might be going somewhere? Because the details of his contract says he's got to be a top 3. He's got to be a top 3 coach every year. At the end of every year, he got to be paid a top 3 coach at the end of every year. Otherwise, he could forfeit his buyout and he becomes a free agent. So they're saying that's what coaches are gonna start putting in their contract every single year. That was brilliant. He got $93 million, and it's coming. So he's got to be paid one of the top 3. He getting more than Sarkisian right now. He get more than LeBron Daily.
He got the same kind of contract. The brother messed it up. Tucker. Tucker got more than that.
I'm telling you, it's a great contract. Great contract. So we're gonna see how long he stays, but they got to up him every year. They got to up him every year according to his contract. I just read it today. They got to up him every year. And you got coaches like Dabo.
He had a hell of a contract.
He had an agent.
Jimmy Sexton doing his contract.
Hell of an agent. So let's wrap up. We got the NBA kicking off this week.
Yeah, but I also want to talk about the coaches out here with the hot seat.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about the contract. Who you got?
You have, of course, my boy Jay Norvell just got fired from Colorado State. Of course, Florida coach got fired and everything. Some of this, the reality with a lot of these coaches getting let go, they not keeping up with the time. And some of these college coaches not keeping up with the time because they're used to running things, they're running the players, and they got to learn how to cope with these kids getting money now, like NFL coaches. And so I think that's why a lot of these coaches get exiled, not just because of losing, because of that. Because you got to come in and know our coach know how to be multitask. Okay, can I coach this kid getting money? How do I got to coach him? You know what I mean? So it's just college football is changing. That's why they're going to the new generation. Some of these coaches have been around a long time. They can't keep up with the time. You know, they used to controlling the kid all the way. You just can't control the kid all the way anymore because they get money. It's like coaching pro football. Just can't do it. It's just the way it is now.
So to your point, you either have to adapt or get out or do something else. And one of the best college coaches of all time showed you that. Saban. You think Saban can't still coach? He came out and said in so many words, he didn't want to have to deal with trying to coach players that's making millions of dollars and trying to get them motivated to do the right thing. He's like, I'd rather go do something else. Because he did that when he went to the NFL, and he was mildly successful in the NFL, nothing like he was when he went to college. But the reason why he was able to get done what he got done in college is because he's a master motivator. Like, I've gone back and listened to some of his interviews as well as some of his classes. And even just past week, he was talking about, you know, you're only a failure if you stop trying. And you're only successful if you give up. If you don't give up. You only can be successful if you don't give up. So
Nick Saban was giving out legal bags, period. He was paying players.
Oh, I'm not saying he wasn't. He was doing what everybody else doing. But guess what?
Why you can't do it when it's illegal?
Because he went to Alabama Boosters 2 years ago before he quit and said, hey, we got to raise the budget. And they're like, we ain't got enough. We can't pay like that. We can't pay like that.
He went somewhere else because he's scared to compete. My thing is,
he's not scared to
compete. If you give money illegal, you should pay to give money illegal. You should pay to give money when it's illegal. So if Alabama,
they're giving money.
They don't listen. Alabama ain't got the money like Vanderbilt and IU.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree.
Speaking of the programs been at the bottom,
I agree.
But what I'm saying is, you should have been trying to get get another job with some school who has some money. Because think about it, if a school got an opportunity to hire Nick Saban, they gonna hire him.
But he don't need the
why
money.
he ain't trying to go get a job at another school?
Because he don't need the money.
Compete. And my thing is this: you ain't got
You
nothing to say.
think Nick Saban was scared to compete?
Nick Saban ain't got nothing to say if you give your money illegal and now it's illegal and you can't challenge it. Why you can't do the challenge now? It's illegal, and you running from college football. To me, if you giving money out illegal, you should be able to stay in the game and get money illegal. But the problem too is, once again, they don't want these coaches. They have their thumb on these kids all their 4 or 5 years and control the thing. And he know he can't control nothing no more. It's going to be like him going back coaching in the league because he was, you want to say trash. He was trash in the NFL. He was garbage in the NFL, and he couldn't compete because he couldn't handle them guys making money. And that's how college football is now. So that's why he can't coach college football. Because all I'm saying, if you give the bags out, you should pay the coach. But now that the kid's getting paid, he can't have nobody getting paid. They want to be the highest paid. That's the problem. They don't want to see these black kids get their money. That's who's mostly getting the money, and that's who mostly bringing money to the school. But they've been getting all their big contracts like the coach from Indiana, which is fine because these kids are getting money. So it is what it is. He couldn't handle it, and he want to be all control. And it's, to me, you got a little haterism in your coach saying because now these black boys get paid. You don't want to coach these black boys get paid.
So it is not. I think you mistook what I said.
I know what you said.
Okay. Can I finish the statement, man? I'm sitting here listening. I'm sitting here listening to you the whole time, and every time I say something.
Take a long time. So
what are you talking about? You just sat here talking for 7 minutes. I counted it.
Yeah, because
I fell asleep.
Because everybody know I'm the professor out there, and I'm giving them information.
Okay. You the only one got the right answer. You only got the right. You only got the right answer.
The truth are gonna tell the truth. Okay. This is what I do.
Okay.
So go ahead.
You only got the right answers. Nah, you only one got the right answers. You only one got the right answers.
You right about that.
And guess what? When you pick a game, like the games you picked last week, and I won, you got the wrong answer.
Stay in your lane. You talking about coaching now.
I am talking about coaching. So let me say about coaching. Can I say about coaching?
No.
Can I say about coaching then?
Talking about game.
Can I start? Okay, so let's talk about game. Which one you want to talk about? Because every time I got a right answer, you say you got a little
about college coaching.
Exactly.
Quitting the game. We didn't say.
I said Saban. I didn't say college coaching. I said Saban. Let me tell you what you misquoted me on again because you want to hear what you want to hear. I said Nick Saban left the game because Alabama wouldn't pony up and pay because they don't have the money. Just like some of these big programs that everybody says a huge program. I know one of the top boosters at a large program in Florida. And guess what? They can't fire their coach because they ain't got the money to pay the coaches, pay the players, and go get a new coach. So you know what they prioritizing? They prioritizing paying the players. So from that standpoint, if Nick Saban was at A&M, he'd be doing just as good as Elko doing right now because
he'll still be coaching like that. He would never Alabama somewhere else.
He don't want to go. Guess what?
Because
he got the
control.
No, because he got the field name after him. Why are you gonna go somewhere else? If he wanted to go somewhere else, he could have had a Texas job 10 years ago. He guess what? It's loyalty to a program. I know a lot of people don't understand that word. They don't understand loyalty, staying somewhere, growing somewhere, and don't want to go nowhere else, even though you have the ability to. A, he don't need the money. He just opened up 2 car dealerships. B, he's having fun still being connected. I say he just opened up 2 newer car dealerships. So guess what? That means more money. So that means more money. B, he's on college game day, so he's still connected to college football. You want to sit here and say he ain't coaching because he can't coach these kids today? Man, come on. Come on, man. Come on. Get the details. Get the facts. I'm all about the facts. You talking about the feelings. And the whole time I've been talking, you've been commenting, and I'm going to sit here and let you go on your diatribe again.
You know what's funny? How this man going to sit up there? He don't know. I know the inside on all these folks because y'all know I do this for a living. Okay? You got a lot of coaches got a bunch of investment, call locks and everything. Nick Saban is not coaching right now because the way the game is now, and he ain't trying to deal with these kids and getting money, number one. He got 1,000 things going on after football. He's going to always have that. Scoop's got the number 1 bourbon in Kentucky, and that's huge. And he got a car dealership. All of them get investments and all that. Open 2 more. The man cannot coach college football because it's a different time, and he cannot coach these kids getting their money because these kids going to bounce on them, do this. It's like he tried to do in the pros. And this this ain't no facts. This is inside. Because I know what goes on everything in college football. Just like we get on the subject why Coach got fired. Tell me why Coach at Penn State got fired. Tell me why I got fired. You know everything, right? Tell me why I got fired.
First off, I never said I knew everything.
I'm asking you a question. How did James Franklin get fired?
You did. James Franklin
inside like me. How did he get fired? Tell me how James got fired.
So
tell me how
I never said I had the inside.
Got fired.
Tell him how he got fired because he lost 3 games in a row.
He wouldn't have asked for a stitch on his contract, which to me was stupid because he got the best agent in the business for the represent college coaches, Jimmy Sexton. He went in there and told him he wanted to raise before the argument. Lost. AD talking with them. Came the next game, wanted to raise. They started barking. Lost 3 in a row, started barking. So, I'm not going to run everything. They go there, I ain't going to ask for a raise. He can't do this. That's how he got fired. Okay. So I'm just telling you why Nick Saban's not coaching. It ain't no he say. I'm just telling you he's not coaching because he's not trying to deal with that competitor because he could have easily left Alabama. Hell, he could have 50 fields named after him. He could have 50 horse fields named after him with horse shit on the fields. At the end of the day, he's not going to coach because he can't deal with the new modern day now. That's why a lot of these head coaches resigning and these coaches get fired because they can't deal with that. It's like Coach Pro, that's why he's not doing it. And that's why, because he could have easily got another job. He could have took over a program at IU and could have did the same thing, got the same kind of money. But he ain't trying to do that because he can't compete no more. It's hard for him to control things. He can't control himself. I can't say compete. He can't control things like he used to. Okay? None of these guys can no more. So it's the way it goes today. But that'll wrap it up for us, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. We on. Like I said, join you. We'll talk about next week.
All right. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in to another In the Tunnel broadcast. We promise you we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA, and we're not going to just talk about Nick Saban next week. So make sure you go on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, like us, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
I ain't